Welcome to Straight Out of Savannah, Talking with Tammi, a podcast that showcases people you may not know who are choosing to use their gifts to inspire and move the planet.
Thank you so much for joining us on Straight Out of Savannah, Talking with Tammi, with my guest. He is going to let you know exactly who he is and what he did away.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me, Tammi. It's a pleasure. I'm Jamie London Wollberg. My pronouns are he, him, his. I am turning 32 shortly, and I am a queer and differently able transgender man. I identify as a very spiritual person, a spiritual Jew, and my experience spans across many walks of life, all leading really to the same purpose, which is my sole purpose of helping others to cultivate unconditional love. And I believe that when they cultivate unconditional self-love, that we are able to love all beings. So that is my life's work, and everything that I do must anchor into that. So the main focus that I have right now is Trannabis and Trannabis Chi. Trannabis is my lifestyle work where I have my cooking show, the Trannabis Kitchen, and that is a revamp from my college cooking show, even after I went to culinary school. And the other side is my healing work, which is Trannabis Chi, where I use the combination of Tai Chi, Qigong, and cannabis to really help communities build upon their own healing, empowering them to heal themselves. And that combination directly helped to save my life throughout all of my ailments. And so that's really the core of who I am and what I do. Like anyone else, I identify as we're all divine beings, and we all are multifaceted. And there's many labels one can put on me, but ultimately I'm a human.
Yes, that's powerful. That's powerful. Share how you got there. I mean, how did you decide to combine the cannabis and the healing? That is so interesting to me because cannabis is healing, and I'm glad that people are finally recognizing that. But how did you get there? I mean, what made you look and see that, cannabis was healing for one, because there's still a stigma on it, even though everybody knows that it is one of the most amazing plant healings that you can have. But the stigma is still there for some people. The place where you said, I'm going to do this thing, because it's not like something you go to school for, right?
No, it's not. I mean, there you go. I've taken, a certification online kind of thing, but ultimately that's not what I feel that I went to school for. Honestly, I've made peace with the fact that within my childhood circumstances, as a teenager, I was really actually against cannabis. That was how I was raised. I was seeing that as a added component to things that I believe to be drugs that can kill you, which cannabis cannot. And so I really didn't have a positive outlook. And then when I was 19, I started using cannabis for the first time because it was after a party and I was nauseous, and I saw how much it helped with my nausea. But even then, I was subconsciously using it for healing, for emotional and physical benefit, predominantly mental health. I had a lot of anxiety and depression. But it wasn't actually until, I suppose, a little under 7 years ago, I became one of the first 300 legal medical patients in New York State when it became legal there to do so. And I realized that at the time, I was totally bedridden from all my ailments. I really couldn't do anything at all, and I was desperate for something to work. So this was my point where I was like, okay, I'm going to utilize this medicine, but New York really didn't know what they were doing. And so that was a very large part of why I moved to LA. And I decided that if I was going to be here, that I needed to input myself in an industry. I needed to learn more about the plant, how I could heal myself, and if I could find a way to help myself in any regard, from someone who was in 10 out of 10 pain and suffering, suicidal ideation, 24/7, 365, to someone who is now an aliveness, and really loves life and manages my pain and no longer identifies with suffering. That's a huge shift, right? So
Yeah.
I came in and I started to get myself into the industry, educating myself, and I started to find healing in the plant. And then it was really actually, I got properly diagnosed with something called persistent postural perceptual dizziness, which is a very new term disease that is a multi-genetic disease that's similar to vertigo, where essentially, this is rather poetic, your whole body is fighting to be in alignment. So it's like we have these endocannabinoid systems that are built in our body to help align and have synergy and balance within our body. And my body wasn't getting this balance. So once I learned about the endocannabinoid system, I said, oh, I can focus on this. There's something here to help me. And I have fibromyalgia and a bunch of things. And this doctor said, you have to get moving. You can't continue to be, bedridden on and off, and you need to reduce your stress. Sent me back to physical therapy. Physical therapist happened to be from Hong Kong, happens to have the tradition and knowledge of Tai Chi, and started to teach me. And I didn't tell her, but I was using cannabis before and after our sessions to manage the pain that I was undergoing or experiencing, and the nausea as well. And eventually she saw how much I was improving. I saw how much I was improving, and she suggested that I get certified to teach. And that's when I had to tell her that I was using cannabis, because I felt like I owed that to her. And I saw that there was no one using it. She supported me. I got certified. I learned that, both cannabis and these martial arts that have all rooted in China, not even that far off in the grand scheme of time from each other, that they were probably always used together. And I made peace with it. I said, this is my authentic truth. It took me from someone who was someone no one wanted to be like, to someone who found themselves, had an awakening, transition, had aliveness, and I managed my healing. And being someone who does happen to, weave through different boxes of marginalized groups, I can't directly relate to everyone from this time, but I can relate to a lot of people. And I find that I feel confident within my experiences and my love that I provide and my services, that I can welcome anybody. And so I wasn't seeing people of really any healing modality within cannabis specifically who was utilizing this, and also holding space for those who are of all walks of life. So I teach people who are seated, who are standing, who are laying down. So whether you are someone of persons with disabilities, whether you're someone who is of any walk of life, where you haven't felt loved, accepted, and worthy in a healing setting, particularly fitness, you're for me and I'm for you.
That's powerful. Woo, I got goosebumps when you were saying that, because that is so needed in the world, especially now, with all the things that are going on and all the things, and all the trauma that people have had. And to be at such a young age, that is super powerful, because a lot of us, it takes 40s before you begin to even awaken to the level that you are. And to be able to help other people and to be able to blend the cannabis with the Tai Chi for healing, that's huge. That is huge. Is there anybody else doing that since you started?
Not that I can see, and certainly no one who has, as a person of trans experience with, and also a person with disabilities and things like that, no. But even when I started, I had really not heard of anybody. I mean, there's a lot of yoga with cannabis, and I love yoga, but I don't feel confident within doing yoga anymore. It just doesn't mesh well with my health stuff. So what I do is I take components of yoga and practice that people love, that resonates deeply, authentically with me and my practice, and I work that in. Ways I do that is predominantly really with just chakras, because I am extremely aware and mindful that in this lifetime, I am a white man. Doesn't matter that I'm trans or any of these things. I need to be respecting these cultures. I'm not here to solicit or take from a culture. I'm here to honor a culture that has saved my life and that is authentically within me. And this is a gift that was bestowed to me by what I believe is source and the ancestors to provide for people and to empower people. I'm not better than anybody else. There are people who have a lot more training and experience than me. I'm just here to be me. And I don't know how to do anything else other than be me at this point in my journey. So
why would you want to?
I don't. So, this is really a huge piece of what I'm here to do. And I've been very blessed that people are receiving this, at least to this point, to my knowledge, in the way that I'm providing. So I don't tell people I'm not better than other healers. I do what I do and I am who I am. And if you're someone who felt these ways or had these experiences, then you can work, then I'm the one for you. Like, I'm someone who will promise to the ends of the earth that everything else around me drops when I'm working with someone and with my class, period.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Do you see, I'm looking at you and I'm wondering, do you see yourself certifying other people to do what you do? Is it something that's on your radar?
It's something that has been brought up to me. It's something that I have thought about from the concept of, I love so deeply and so tensely within this and what the possibilities are for people that I want as many people to have access to this as possible. And so when I think about certifying other people, I think about that possibility. And at the same time, I contemplate whether I feel I have the right to. I learned from people who was, of their culture, and I don't claim that I have the right, in this lifetime. That may be, may not be important to some people. It's not something I fully have come around to understand, and I will not do anything to dishonor this with intention. So I have to be very intentional. Absolutely everything that I do within my practice, I keep it as authentic and traditional as I can within the Yang form. That's what I've been training in so far, and there's many different forms. When it comes to, other people I've worked with, they have expressed to me that actually it wouldn't, I don't know that it wouldn't be not worth it for them to do it, but they have no desire seemingly to do Cannabis Chief. I'm not the one who's doing it with them because they feel that it's something about me and my essence and my energy and my gifts, and I have to honor that as well. So what I am contemplating a lot is, especially within the realm of virtual reality, what is it that I need to do and can do in order to meet as many people as humanly possible?
That's awesome. Where do you see yourself going with this? I mean, what is your vision for it?
I see a vision of me in part traveling the world, or being able to really access the world and empowering people and showing them how they can heal within themselves within my support as much as possible. And I also tell people this isn't a magic pill. A lot of people ask me, what is it that I'm doing? How did I get to this point? They all want to know. And I'm like, I know you're waiting for one thing, but it's not. Like, notice how even this thing is Tai Chi, Qigong, and cannabis is three things, and the power of three. And that is still one piece of who I am and what I do to be the being that I am. So, it's much more expansive than that, and I'm going to do the best that I can. But this is simply a piece of my larger vision.
Right. So did you have the support of your family in this endeavor, or is that a thing?
Well, I would say more yes than no. I wouldn't say that I felt unsupported so much as I wouldn't say that I felt enthusiastically supported initially. I think that they're coming around to it. They're starting to acknowledge that I do have power, but and not, again, not when I'm using this term level, I'm not saying I'm better than or less than, just like where I'm at in my journey of spirituality does not remotely match where like 99.999% of my family are. So it's you like, this is spiritual wellness. And although anybody of any walk of life can come in, like I'm very mindful with my language to ensure that I'm not having people feel isolated. I even change around some slight terminology to make it that much more accessible, because everyone, whether they're atheist or agnostic or Buddhist or Catholic, like whoever and however they identify, I don't care if you're purple and polka dotted. I love you and you're welcome in my sessions, my classes.
I love that, purple and polka dotted.
I just don't.
Let's talk about this awakening, the latest one, because we were talking before we came on, and I want you to share that, because I know that our listeners will get something from that, and I know that people that are looking and that maybe in this process where they are awakening, share a little bit about that.
Sure. Well, I will say that there is never per se a predictable way to have an awakening, and there are certain things that you can do that will assist. One of those things that I have found that's very practical for me in my healing journey is working with psilocybin. I predominantly microdose, and so that is actually what I was doing when this occurred for me. It was, I think, by tomorrow, I think it'll be 3 weeks to the Saturday. I was healing with the fungi spirits with a very small amount, only 0.5. And I proceeded to have a 10-hour journey, which is, for anybody who's listening and knows about psilocybin, especially microdosing, that's rather unheard of. To my understanding, that's a very long amount of time for especially very small amounts. And a lot of people think that you need to macrodose in order to have this level of experience, and you do not. I can assure you from experience. I channeled in 17 pages of writing, having to do with things spanning from an equation for the universe and reprogramming the universe to unconditional love, or rather reprogramming humans back to our soul origination of unconditional love. As well as a lot of affirmations for the universe. And when I was telling you about the universe wanting us to play and to enjoy life and to be at ease, that pain is real in our human experience, but that suffering is a choice. And that the universe is just waiting for us. Like whatever anybody believes in, that entity or non-entity somewhere inside you, if that's what you believe, is waiting for you to acknowledge this and to simply choose it, because we all have our own perspectives as being human beings. We're human computers, and that's simply what it is. Like when you're disagreeing with someone, that's just them having their perspective from their lived experience.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
Wouldn't it be beautiful if we could come together? And I want to be clear that we can, and we are. I feel the shift happening, and I hope that you do, and the listeners and as well, where we can have this active listening and calmly have conversation about what our perspectives are, and really make the effort to see the other person's perspective. And this is as complicated or difficult or easy as you say it. It's that simple. It's that simple. Just say it. Right now, my mantra is everything is easy. Does it mean that I am experiencing everything at ease every second in that moment? So far, no. And I am still embodying this, and I still believe this. and I still know it's accessible for me. And I will say that since I have started to use this as a mantra, that a lot of things are becoming and experiencing easier for me. Things that are small and things that are big. And again, those are my perspectives on what they are. You know,
I'm gonna take
everything.
I'm
Please.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's amazing. I had another friend that she said when this virus came, she got this mantra dropped in her spirit, I am immune. And so she said, I am immune, I'm immune. And she told her parents who are in their 70s to say that, I am immune, I'm immune. And they have, and none of them have gotten it. And I thought, that is powerful. That's powerful. Hmm. Yes. I'm so excited and grateful just to be having this conversation with you, Jamie. Is almost everything you're saying, I'm getting goosebumps because it's like I feel all that so strongly, and it's like it's so time. I almost feel like this virus was one of these things that had to show up in our awareness so that people can have these shifts because it's time. It's way past time, really. You think about it. Um, Something I was going to ask you. So, as time goes on, do you see yourself opening up to new awarenesses, new realities? Um, do you even also experience time travel? Not time travel. What do they call it? Astral travel.
So, yes, I think I'm starting to, and maybe. So, the so yes, I ultimately, to my known awareness, my ability of astro travel or projection, uh, I find what I'm coming to realize is I've likely been experiencing it for some time, and I wasn't quantifying it as that because the way that other people were explaining their experiences to me
Yes.
didn't sound like that. And so I immediately wrote that off, which is like such a human thing to do. Like, how sweet. Like, we do this to ourselves all the time. We determine that because our relationship with something or our experience is slightly different from someone else's, that
Yes.
it's not somehow the same thing, but it is. I believe in the quantum. I believe that we have all these dimensions. How many there are, who knows? I don't know that, you know, I'm sure someone knows, or even in fact, I believe that we probably all know. I have this belief that we are all knowing in the sense that we just all know what we know at one time. Like, there's over 8 billion of us. If we all knew everything at the same time, like, that'd be really boring. And I don't know how we would have any growth or progress. We wouldn't transform.
Right.
So I believe that I'm starting to dip in and out, particularly during meditation, particularly during microdosing with psilocybin. I notice it when I'm practicing Tranibus Chi. There's, in fact, a particular form called Heaven and Earth. And I don't really know what it is about this form, but when I do this form, it's a Qigong form. And when I do this, I just often go somewhere else. I just, like, I don't even know where I go because I don't even see it. That was all of them, right? The astro projection, travel. What was the other question? Did I answer it?
You're good.
Yeah.
Because I think about that as well. Because I used to spend a lot of time out of my body too. And I had to learn how to come back, you know, and stay grounded. And I think that a lot of times our experiences make us do that, you know, and, you know, depends on how you grew up and what was going on in your life and, you know, the things that were happening. And you just learn how to just leave, especially if you have been through this in many lifetimes. And so let's talk about that. You mentioned that
Let me grab my charger.
You've been many lifetimes a healer.
I believe so. I've been told by different healers at this point, and I'm still diving in through healings and learning more every day. But I essentially believe that my soul is thousands of years old. In a particular healing called AQHHT healing, which is quantum hypno healing therapy or quantum healing hypnotherapy, one of those. And I discovered that I truly believe this, as I believe we all are. Like, in terms of my relationship to source, I believe that I originated from the heart of source. And that's, to me, that healed a lot in me with all my lives, because I have always been told that I am too much and I am too loud, that people are not ready for my love, that I love too strongly. And when I received that in that session, I was like, whoa. I mean, when I came out of it and I re-listened to everything, I was just like blown away. I was like, this makes so much sense with why I love so strongly and deeply. And I now honor and understand that people can receive my love because we're collective. And whenever they're ready, they will find me. And I will be here ready to love them.
Yes, that is powerful. That is okay. So we can end on that. That was amazing. I'm just, my God, I'm just blown away. I'm loving your heart for service. And I can feel that you are an old soul. And I believe that's why I reached out to you. Because I could see that. I thought you were way younger than you are, but your soul is what attracted me, to you. And I know that that is what everyone else is going to see when they or listen to this interview. What now? Are you in a relationship?
Very single. I'm in a relationship with myself right now, and very proud of it. I'm incredibly loving, and I really would like to be at a space in my life where I feel enough alignment that when I go to love someone, that they are really receiving me at my most evolved self. It doesn't mean that I'm waiting forever, or that there's a particular day on the calendar. I don't believe that that's how that works for me. I just know that I will know. And I'm a very big lover. I'm a romantic. I look forward to being in relationships, and I am definitely someone who I want family, and I want that, and I've always wanted that since I was really, really young. So
I can see that.
It's gonna happen. I've actually, in that QHHT session, I quickly passed through a life where I was at my wedding.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I was wearing brown shoes. That was what I remember about it. And so, I know that at some point, at least, I was married, and apparently there's a spirit connecting with me in my apartment that is an ex-lover from a time when I was in Egypt. So I'm very old, and I appreciate very deeply that you caught that in my soul, and then I we found each other. I don't believe any of this is accidental. I don't at all.
No, I don't believe anything is. I believe that everything is intentional. Yes. Mm-hmm. All right. So what we're going to do now is you're going to share with the people how they can connect with you. If you have any programs or anything you want to share, this is the time.
Sure. So I'm on most social media platforms. For Cannabis Chi, it's easy, it's streamlined. You can just look at me for Cannabis Chi. It's with 2 N's, so you just take trans and cannabis and you put it together, and then you put the chi, and there you go. And for cannabis, a little more complicated. On Instagram, you can get to all of them though. So you can go to Cannabis Lifestyle on Instagram, And you can check out my website, which also has all of the above things, which is tranabischi.com. My show that live streams the Tranabis Kitchen is every Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific time. That streams widely everywhere, so everyone can see that. You can also watch the replays. I offer a lot of services within my schedule of Tranabischi, everything from private sessions and full classes to guided meditations and affirmations. And I offer a lot of free services as well through Clubhouse. So any of you Clubhousers, I'm there. You can go find my club, which is the Matrix of Spiritual Wellness. And then I have another
That's where
club
I found you.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to think, I was like, you know how you think, well, how did we even know? But yes, I was in your room. Yes. Okay, gotcha.
Yes. And then the other club is do you cook with cannabis? And that is with I co-founded that with Chef Nicole Hines of Fated Living, and we meet on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. We highlight a different chef now or a person in the space every week. It's super fun. And that's at 6 p.m. Pacific time on Tuesdays.
That is awesome. All right. I am so excited and I appreciate the connection. I'm so thankful that you took up the opportunity to join me here on Straight Out of Savannah Talking with Tammi. This has been life-changing. I mean, at best. I got so many goosebumps and so many aha moments when I was listening to you talk, because to hear somebody so young and so evolved is refreshing. It really is. It is refreshing because there's so much going on in the world. And to hear somebody that, definitely has stepped into their awakening and is living their purpose, can't beat it. Can't beat it. And congratulations, Jamie. Thank you so much. And I feel honored and privileged to be able to be in the same space with you.
Thank you so much, Tammi. Honestly, it's received and reflected. And I hope you'll do me the honor of allowing me to have a private session with you virtually for Tranabischi.
You sure can.
I love that.
All right. So thank y'all for joining me on Straight Out of Savannah Talking with Tammi and with my guest, Jamie Wollberg, correct?
Jamie London Wollberg, yeah.
Jamie London Wollberg. Yes, he has been so amazing. This young man is one to follow. Make sure you follow him on all of his social media. All those details will also be in the description of the podcast, so you'll be able to connect with him if you are ready or when you are ready. And I appreciate you watching or listening. Thank you so much. Bye now.
I know you've been blown away with the amazing value here today. Now go out and inspire the planet. And be sure to send us a message when you're ready to come talk about it on Straight Out of Savannah, Talking with Tammi.